on, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
The like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, aka Queen. And as always, we got a lot to talk about. The Knicks are one game out of the play-in. Okay. They said OG will be back soon. They said Randle will be back soon. Apparently, OG is I guess working out or whatever he's doing. Okay. I mean, we barely holding on right now. What's the status? Are we talking about the next 2 games, the next 3 games? Because it matters. So we're going to talk about that. You know, even if the Knicks do fall to the play-in, you know, I have confidence that we will be able to win in the first round. But keep in mind, we're going to be playing the number 1 or number 2 seed if that is the case. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the injuries. We'll pick our play of the month. The Knicks were 4-8 in February. We got a good look at players, you know, getting more minutes without Julius Randle, without OG Anunoby. So we'll talk about that. Are we overreacting to Burks' play? Are we expecting too much, not just from Burks, but too much from this team without Randle and OG Anunoby? We'll talk about Hart. Has he turned the corner? And then we're going to give McBride some love and see, is he now in the playoff rotation as far as the panel and the chat is concerned. So let me bring in Jerrell, Ajay. We got room on the panel, so maybe I'll drop the link if somebody else wants to want to join us. But Jerrell, Ajay, how you doing?
Hey, salute, Steph. Salute, Ajay. Salute to the chat. You know how we do every Friday.
Salute panel and Queen. As always, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you and Jerrell. Love hanging out with you guys and talking Knicks.
Yeah, it's just once a week now. So when the time comes, I'm kind of pumped up too.
Right.
I think you should have a midday show at some point during the week.
Yeah, I am. I'm working on the timing of it. It's just that when you out of the flow, it's just hard to get back in it. You know, that's really what it is. Shout out to the chat. Greg, JJ, always rocking with us. David G, Jerry B. Nussbaum, Kerry Cox, appreciate you. Who else? Coach in the house. And then Dwayne Dennis was in here early dropping his gems. I don't know if he's still here. And Sharon, appreciate you. All right, let's talk about, you know, like we always do, just what's going on recently. In the month of February, the Knicks won 4 games, lost 8 games. And I'm going to start with the tough question. If the Knicks were to fall to the play-in and we're fully healthy, can we win that first round against the number 1 or number 2 seed? What's your thoughts? Jerrell, Ajay, we starting off with the tough question first.
You start off first. It's gonna be tough, man. Like I really, you know, I have confidence in this team fully healthy. I just don't have enough confidence that we're going to be fully healthy once that time happens. We always talk about like the teams that we're scared of. I always said Boston was my number 1, the only team I'm really concerned of that I think we can like definitely lose a 7-game series. Because fully healthy, I still don't know what that looks like yet. So to answer your question, do I think we can beat Boston in the first round? Yes, it's definitely possible if we're fully healthy. I'm just apprehensive because I don't know what fully healthy looks like yet. And neither does the Knicks. because we haven't had a full roster since any of this started. So yeah, I'm just apprehensive about like the health part. But if we were fully healthy, let's get it on. I'm not that scared of Boston. I think we can win, but if we don't, I'm not shocked.
Yeah, and depending on where we are, and this is just if how we do here. It ain't the Pom podcast. We're not gonna say, oh, the Knicks gonna,
right.
When they come back 5 games left, we're gonna shoot up to the second spot. We talk about all options here, right? The Knicks are right now just 1 game out of the play-in right now. Obviously depending on if we're 7 or 8, we could play Cleveland, we could play Milwaukee, we could play Boston. But Ajay, if we're healthy, playing, even if we're in the play-in, if we are healthy, what do you think about the Knicks' chances of beating whoever falls in that number 1 or number 2 spot?
So if we're healthy, first of all, Queen, before I go, I gotta tell the chat, y'all gotta hit the like button, man. I see we already slacking off. We already lagging with the number of people watching, the number of people hitting the like button. Let's hit that thing on the way in. All right. So if we're healthy, I'm gonna add a little bit more to if we're healthy, because it's gonna take more. Because when you're 7 or 8, that means you're gonna meet. Of course, you're gonna play 1 or you're gonna play 2 or 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to be healthy, and the reinforcements that we bought in have to actually reinforce.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna talk about Burks and Bogdanovic, and so all that has to fit in. It all has to work like a well-oiled machine. If we don't do that, if we don't get to that point, we're not going to get anywhere. And having said that, I don't know if you I think was I on NBK on Monday? Yeah, I think I was on NBK on Monday. We talked about positioning. 6 or 7, because you look at the brackets, right? I know you don't aim to be in a certain spot, but it's not the end of the world if you land in a 7 spot. Okay, because I think we're good enough. It's like if Miami's the 8 seed, whoever the first seed is, they're gonna get nervous because they know that team is really not an 8 seed team. The same thing with us. Like if we fall, they know we're suffering from injuries. Like everybody knows this, and they know if we fall in 7, the number 2 seed's gonna know like this is not a real number 7 seed. It just so happened that these guys were injured during the season. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, we're able to. Yeah, I think we're if we're healthy and if all the parts that they bought in fit, like starting to play the way we expect them to play, the way it looks like on paper, I ain't scared of nobody.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Even if healthy, how many games will they get to play together before we go into the playoffs?
Right.
I mean, that starting unit has played together, right? They were, 14-2, whatever it was in January. So they had an opportunity to play together. I don't think it's going to be a big deal for them to get their chemistry back. I don't think so. Maybe it will be. But the way Tibbs has been rolling lately, it's not first team stagger into the second team with just one person from the first team playing with them. The way he's doing it lately, there's just multiple, teams that he's, rolling out there. And so they haven't had an opportunity to play together. There's been lineups when Brunson is running with 2 members from the second team, or sometimes you have 2 starters with 3 players from the second team. So I think that's what's going to make it difficult in the sense that they won't have that time to kind of play together and know each other. But that starting unit, unless something, I just don't see why they won't be able to get that chemistry back. Now, will Randle be 100%, even 80%? He's better than whoever we got at power forward. But if you're that 7 or 8 seed and you're playing Boston or whoever is number 2, all hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure 80% Randle is better than anybody we have at that position, but is it enough? So I'm confident if healthy, we can beat anybody. As Sherwin said in the chat, how healthy will we be? How
Right.
healthy will Mitch be? How healthy will Randle be? How healthy will Anunoby be, even when they are back?
Or don't forget Hartenstein.
Or
How
Hartenstein.
how healthy will he be?
How
I'm
healthy
at,
will he be?
he's actually the most I'm worried about. Like I told you last week that I wouldn't play Hartenstein until sometime in April. He looked like a shell of himself last game. You could tell that he still hobbled, and I think he even came out and said that he came back a week too early.
Right.
So I'm not saying it's Tibbs' fault or whatever, but the medical staff, I think they should shut him down until, give him. I don't know. You got to give him another couple weeks at least.
We definitely going straight to the play-in. I mean, if we shut down, iHeart. I mean, I think for me, and actually, this is an interesting question for you two and the chat. Do you take the perspective, and I'm not saying you can hurt yourself more. We all know nobody is on board with playing somebody who's not 100% who can worsen their injury, right? I don't think anybody is on board with that, right? But if the injury can't be worsened, right? And this kind of goes for Randle and his shoulder too, because there's some, reports that he may need surgery in the off season. But if he comes back, does that mean that he can't injure it any worse? So this kind of applies to Randle and Hartenstein and maybe some other guys on the team we're not even aware of.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not 100% and they can't make the injury worse, are you on board with playing them, or do you feel like they should sit even though the injury can't get any worse?
You mean in the playoffs or just
Regular
like
season,
now?
right now,
Oh,
given how busted up we are right
mhm.
now, would you sit Hartenstein even if the injury can't get any worse?
Absolutely.
You would.
I
Okay.
would definitely sit anybody who needs it. I know we losing games, but I'd rather lose games than be in the playoffs than to try to win some of these games, end up losing anyway, and they end up being hurt even further.
But,
Especially,
no, that's what I'm saying. No risk of obviously a new injury could
yeah.
occur, but from the medical staff they said it's not like it's going to get injured worse. It's just about your pain tolerance or whatever it is. You're
So
not going to be your who you were before, but you're not going to worsen it.
right, I got you. That really goes to Randall and OG then, right?
I think
Because
Hartenstein too. No,
with the Achilles, I'm not
well,
playing with the Achilles.
from what he said,
Mhm.
that the medical staff told him he doesn't have to worry about it popping. That is strong enough. That's what they told him. That it just gets inflamed sometimes and it needs rest, but it's strong enough. They don't have to worry about it popping. That's what I
Mm.
read. That's what I read.
I don't know. He in a contract year. You listening to that? Like, be honest. I don't know. I might sit myself down in the contract year, but yeah, like if it's OG and Randall is just a pain tolerance thing, then yeah, they should play, especially if they want to. Randall is the type of player that would want to play. So if Randall is sitting, he needs to sit because he's not the type of player that'll sit or rest. OG on the other hand, he gets hurt every year and he doesn't really play through injuries, if that makes sense.
Ajay, what's your thoughts on that?
On OG?
No, just in general on players who apparently can't worsen it anymore playing, or would you just sit them anyway?
I'm kind of leaning towards what Jerrell said. I would probably sit them anyway. Let them get 100%. And listen, it's a crapshoot, right? Even at 100%, freak accidents happen. But in terms of injury, like lingering stuff, I would definitely wait for them to get 100% or better if that's possible, 100% and rested, and before I bring them on. But having said that, you have guys like Jalen Brunson who I mean, he is playing some heavy minutes, man. You don't want, by the time those guys come back, then Jalen Brunson is he's not 100% of himself because he's been playing so much and so hard. So it's a fine line you got to walk, man. That's front office, Thibodeau, they got to make the decisions.
Yeah. I say play whatever you could give us given where this team is right now. And there's no risk of, as far as we know, I don't think anything is 100%. There's a low risk that there will be further injury. I mean, the Knicks can wind up. Listen, we're not playing well. We're 4-8. If you look at the standings, other teams have the same record or similar records, and maybe we won the tiebreaker, and that's why we're in fourth, in fourth place. I don't want to get too scared. I do have confidence in the team that if they are healthy, they can rise from the 8th spot. I have every confidence in that, but I don't really want to test that, to be honest. I really don't want to test that. Because the 8th spot is a crapshoot. Anything can happen, particularly in the 8th. So I think you get 2 opportunities on the 7th seed, but it's a crapshoot. Anything can happen. That being said, I don't even know if we play everybody, if our chances are better.
What do you mean?
Meaning, I'm not sure even if we play hard, like you're saying, sit them, and I'm saying, well, if you sit them, chances are, that, it makes it even more difficult for us to win. But I don't even know if playing him and playing
right.
guys is going to give us a better chance. Like, that's just where we are right now. All right. OG cleared for contact. If I read it, let me ask you this. 4-8. Is there anything you've seen that has surprised you about this rendition of the Knicks without Randle and OG and a limited Hart? Anything or anyone that surprised you?
AJ, you want to go?
Sure. And I think we talked about that a little bit on Monday, and I want to kind of
I don't remember.
No, I know you don't. But then there's been a couple of games.
He said, "Yeah, I know you don't."
She does. Queen's like, we did.
Word for real? We had a show.
No, but then we had a couple of games since, and one of the players I mentioned was Deuce McBride. He was it's pleasant surprise. Like, it's good to see him, the confidence in the comfort level. I'm surprised Thibodeau's not playing him well and more, not well, but more. I understand he's not the distributor. He's not the point guard that he is, but I mean, that kid, he can ball, man. He does that's one of the few weaknesses he has, but he does everything else you want somebody to do.
Mm-hmm.
That he, at his size, he really tries, and he, he's a real body out there, making things happen. Yesterday he had, for the few minutes that he played, he had a great game. He did.
Man,
what I'm saying?
Go ahead and say it. Alex Burks has been ass, man. Just say it.
I'm working.
Come
on, man. I don't want to hurt Queen's feelings, so I'm working my way.
Oh no, I'm good.
It's really about Burks, you know that.
But yes, I mean, Alec Burks has been he's been a bum like since he's been here. I don't know how long that funk's gonna last, or if that's a forever funk. I don't know, but it's just, I mean, he's been horrible.
We'll talk about Burks in the next segment. Are we overreacting to his play or lack thereof? we'll talk about that in the
Talk
next
about
segment.
that. But and Queen, you know something I noticed, and I don't know, it kind of strays away from the question. I know you're asked, what surprised you. And another one of my plays was Jericho Sims, but he hasn't really played well last couple of games. But I don't want to mention that. One thing I noticed is that Precious Achiuwa had a couple of bad games. Do you think he's I don't want to say already gave us what he had, or because he's just not used to playing that much, and all of a sudden he's got this load that he has to carry, that he just can't do it for too long, or it's just a couple of bad games like every other player has, because he seems like mentally he's not even in the game. Like yesterday, you almost forgot that he was on the floor in the game against the Warriors.
Yeah. So maybe we should just go ahead and then we'll come back to the other questions. So let's go ahead to, are we overreacting to Burks, or even overreacting to what this rendition of our team has been able to do or has not been able to do? And that includes Precious. We could throw Precious Achiuwa in there. For me, I think the fan base, and I'm talking about Twitter and Ajay, is overreacting. I think we're overreacting to Burks. I think Burks hasn't been shooting well. I don't think his floor game has been great either. But I also think him, Precious, Bogdanovic, all of those guys are playing outside of their role. And I just think it's different playing off of somebody who's drawing all the attention and kicking it out to you for a shot or for you to attack the closeout than not having those guys on the team. And now the ball is in your hand to create something. I just think that I'm surprised some of them have been shining as well as they have. DiVincenzo, when Brunson was out, had 2 36-point games, putting the ball on the floor. I'm like, oh, whoa, okay. Maybe we got a shot creator. The last game was Golden State, 18 threes. Like he couldn't dribble the ball, not one time, just 18 threes. So, so a lot of times when you think somebody has turned the corner and it looks like a reversion, but it's just they just had some good games. It's just not really who they are totally. Precious Achiuwa playing well on the perimeter. I was listening to a podcast. Somebody was disappointed that he didn't have a good showing against Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is a tool guard on the Boston. Like, you really expect Precious Achiuwa to be able to stay in front of him? I mean, like, I think we got to bring our expectations, down. Yeah, Precious Achiuwa, looking a little regular. But that's what the Raptors fans, told us. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Bojan is gonna. When we put those guys back in their regular roles, I think they're gonna be fine. But I'll put it to you guys: do you think we're overreacting with Burks' play, Bojan's play, Precious play, the team as a whole? There was one game on Twitter, you would have thought we had our full complement of players and got blown out the way Twitter was blowing up. I mean, we're limited, but I'm interested, and then I'll go through the chat and see what they have to say. But Jerrell, do you think we're overreacting, or no, not really? Those guys do need to play better.
Yeah, we overreacting. I think a lot of people forget that we talk about backups. None of these dudes are our starters except for Dante DiVincenzo, and this is his first time really being a starter, and he wasn't a starter on this team at the beginning of the season. I think we're putting a little bit too much on him. I agree with you about the roles. Once everybody is back to their role, they probably be a little more consistent. All of these are backup players. I never thought that Precious Achiuwa was going to be a consistent starting power forward for us. like what we've gotten from him so far has been great. And that's with him playing a few bad games when he first got here, and the last couple games wasn't, stellar, but I don't expect stellar from him all the time. I never expected stellar from Dante DiVincenzo every game. For the most part of his career, he's been a backup. And even though he's been playing well when Randle was out and Jalen Brunson was out, like you said, he had a couple 30-point games. I don't expect him to do that every game. I expect all these dudes to have good games, all these dudes to have bad games. Last week, I said Bogey's probably going to have a couple 30-point games before this season is over. He's also going to have some games that he looks like he doesn't belong in the NBA because he's inconsistent too, and he's old. He's in his mid-30s, so I think we're overreacting. We're playing a bunch of guys that would not be playing the amount of minutes that they would be playing once we're fully healthy. Josh Hart played almost the whole game last night, right? Like he played I think he got like a minute or two of rest. That's not going to be him in the future in the playoffs. At least I hope not fully healthy. So even though we got a good game from him, just that output that him and Jalen Brunson minutes wise are pushing out is not going to be, their games are going to suffer because of that. Precious Achiuwa is not supposed to be leading the NBA in minutes since Julius Randle came out. Like that's not supposed to happen on any team. So yeah, we overreacting. We just have to wait till our real starters and our real horses get back.
Yeah, let me just put up this, and then Ajay, you can go. Knicks 100 GM, appreciate you always rocking with us. The real problem is Hart thinking he's a scorer out of the blue. But Knicks 100 GM, don't you think he's just trying to step up, given the void, the fact that you don't really have anybody that can help Brunson out? Right. Who gave Hart the green light? I mean, we were complaining, or at least Ajay was, and other fans were too, that I don't know if it was Ajay, but other fans were that he doesn't take the shots that are
I'm one of them.
That are presented to him. He passes the ball when he should be taking the shot and trying to keep the defense honest. Who else is going to score out there? Yeah. We have DiVincenzo that can, hit some threes. Lately, he hasn't been putting the ball on the floor and creating too much. Precious is not a scorer. He's right there at the basket. I don't understand why he can't. He's right there. He get a little tap on his pinky finger and the ball just goes over the rim. He's right there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I think Hart is just trying to be aggressive and just give us some scoring. While these other guys are out. Ajay, you can answer the question if you want to comment on it.
I 100% disagree. And shout out to Knicks 100 GM, who's always rocking with us. I think it's the complete opposite. Josh Hart and Queen, you said it, and I was one of those people who tell you, like, I get annoyed. He passes on so many wide open shots. He needs to shoot more. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Like the other teams' defenses, they were just completely ignoring him, not because he can't score, because they know he's not going to try to score. You know what I'm saying? So I think he needs to shoot more. Last year when he first came into the team, that's what he was shooting the ball, and he was, he was knocking them in. So I disagree. I think it's the other way around. I think I don't know if he thinks of himself as a scorer, but he's able to score. And when we don't have enough weapons, listen, take the shot, man. Take the shot. What's the worst thing that can happen? You miss the shot. That's much better than just letting the clock run out, or you turn over the ball because you're pounding, you're dribbling the ball, Take the shot. You never know. You have 40% chance or 35% of it going in. You take the shot. So he needs to shoot more. And then that, I think the complete reverse of what he's saying.
Right. As far as us overreacting to how the team is playing, how Burks is playing, how Precious has been playing.
I don't think we're overreacting on how Burks is playing. I think we're right on. We expected him. Queen, you got to remember, like, we were calling for Burks, and I know you were, because he has an advantage. He already knows Tibbs' system. He already played.
I just want to say, that's not why I wanted him. I wanted him for scoring off the bench in the playoffs. That's why I wanted him. Not necessarily because he knew the system, because keep in mind, it's not the same system. It's not the same,
Team
it's
or
not the
team.
same
Yeah.
players. So he's adjusting not just from, coming from Detroit to New York, but also this is a different team. We don't have Alfred Payton and Bullock, and this is a different team as well. I agree with you. He hasn't been playing well. Don't get me wrong, but I'm attributed to getting accustomed to playing on a new team and the fact that he's not in the role he's going to be in. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, but and I think when the trade first happened, most people they were happy because they, like you said, they expected these guys to be scorers, okay, and that hasn't happened, and Burks, especially Burks, because Burks he's not a terrible defender, and he's a pretty good scorer. So you expect, with a lot of guys out, and he's got a pretty good size. So you expect him to give you some really good minutes. He hasn't given us good minutes at all. Like I think one game he scored 22 points, but that was I think we lost that game anyway. But Bogdanovic, we knew, and we discussed that he's a cone. He's not a Evan Fournier cone, but he's not far off. He's not so if he's not scoring, it's a problem. Like he's a liability if he's not if he's not giving you 20 points, if he's not giving you 15 points, he's causing you 15 points because they go right by him. He's just not a defender. We knew that. We knew what we were getting ourselves into. So I don't think they're overreacting about those particular plays, but I think they're overreacting about the fact that we're losing games. The couple of games that we won, I'm even surprised we won them. Like, we don't have guys. We just don't have our players. Another thing I think they're overreacting about? The amount of minutes played. Like, what do you expect Tibbs to do? Like, you expect him to tell Johnny Bryant, yo, suit up? We just don't have guys. We don't have anybody.
They want Jacob Toppin to play, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, bring Hart's minutes from 56, bring his minutes down to
56
to 30, and let Toppin play these other minutes. I mean, I think one of the things we're overestimating as fans is not just Tibbs, but the players' desire to win. I think we're underestimating it. I think as fans, we're on the outside calculating. Oh, well, all right, Randall's out, OG's out, Hart is not 100%. We playing Golden State. They've been on a run. You know what? We're probably going to lose this game anyway. Let's sit these 4 players out, play the G League players, save them for the playoffs. Coaches and players, they're not calculating like that. They're suiting up because teams who are underdogs on any given night can win. They're trying to win. They're also concerned about playoff seeding. Let's not play with the basketball guards and just sit everybody. We can roll to the 8th seed and we can still win a chip. I think we need to, relax with that. Chemistry matters. Being in the flow of things matter. Sitting everything out. We might roll the 10 in a scenario like that. So I think we need to, be careful with that and just understand coaches and players don't see it the way we see it, as they're not calculating that way. But go ahead. Somebody was talking.
No, and they shouldn't. You got to understand, these guys, they practice, they train their entire life for this. They're not going to want to sit it out and be like, we're not. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, this is what they know what to do. This is what they get paid for. This is what they look forward to, especially there's not a whole lot of practice, especially with everybody all banged up. I'm sure they're not in the gym on their day off and then, going really hard. So this is their playing time. This is their on-court time. So they trust me, those guys, they want to play the maximum amount of minutes that the coach would let him play. We're on the outside looking in, and we're like, we're trying to preserve Brunson for when the other guys come back, but Brunson don't want to be preserved. Brunson want to go out there and score 40 points every night. He tries to do that every night, because that's how he validates him being here. And not to mention the next contract to be a supermax, but
that's true.
But I mean, that's what those guys live for. You can't take that away from them. So
Yeah. So Paris Duggar, appreciate you rocking with us. Tibbs thinks, and just for Paris and Greg, I would love to put your comments up, but you guys are so super, I wouldn't even say negative, because it's okay if you disagree. I have no problems putting your chat up if you disagree. That's not the problem. But you guys are in there calling people stupid and dumb, like those type of chats I just can't put up. So if you want to say something that you disagree with, definitely disagree. I don't mind putting that chat up for us to talk about. But this one is stupid and this one is dumb and y'all don't know what the hell y'all talk. I can't put those chats up. So I finally found one from Doug. I found one that I felt appropriate. Salute Dritmore. Tibbs thinks 47 minutes of Josh Hart is better than developing Toppin, who is a talent. 5 minutes. Listen,
we're not developing right now, please.
Yeah. Paris,
over.
You 2 years behind. That train has already left. The last stop was Grimes Station. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's over. So yes, play Josh Hart. I mean, listen, I wish we could play Josh Hart 40 minutes. And if you want to say put Toppin in to give Josh Hart a blow, I mean, listen, I don't know. I may not argue with that. But to say develop Toppin, development is over. Development is over.
Sure, development
help the team win, or you can't. You put him in because you believe he can help the team. You believe he can give iHeart a blow so iHeart could be fresher. Then I'm all with that. But to develop Toppin, no, development is over.
Yeah, so you want to send him to the G League. Queen, I think JJ wants to call in. So I don't know if you...
Okay. Yes, JJ, I'm gonna put it up now. Anybody else was you saying something, Jerrell or Ajay? There was one more comment I wanted to
in the chat.
Yeah, did I might have. Wow. Okay, yeah, Paris, let me uncheck that. Because it's just similar about starting over in the draft. Like,
and I missed that one.
Yeah, it says gotta start over in the draft to get young athleticism to compete like quickly. Obi,
start over.
Come on, Paris Duggar. Come on.
All right.
Come on. We got rid of those guys. What did that tell you? We traded those guys because we're going in a different direction. We have Brunson and Randle. We're trying to maximize their window and get them young veterans. Kudos to the Knicks for not going out and getting over the hill guys, going out and getting injured guys. They went out and got, like, other than Bojan, but I don't think Bojan's going to be here forever. They went out and got kind of young players to go with them. And listen, when it comes to your non-core guys, I think they can be older because those guys are going to be coming in and out anyway. So no, we're not going to start over in the draft. We're just injured. That's it. That's all it is. Just injured.
Right.
Those guys are coming back. All right. I think that was all. IQJ. Yeah, listen. Losing a guy that averages 25, 10, 5, and a defensive anchor at center and OG, the impact he provides is heavily missed. It won't be easy. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I think we can officially put to rest the we don't need Randle talk.
Yeah. Some people owe him an apology.
Yeah. we could put that to bed. We need Randle.
I mean, it's, somebody tell you that we don't need it. It blasphemy. It's just straight crazy to say that at this point. I mean, because we can see it now. It's clear. You have evidence now. We don't have Randle. We're in trouble.
It's not just this chat. I was listening to a podcast that's very well known, not in our circle, outside our circle. I'm gonna make that clear. Outside of MBK and those that rock with us. I had the nerve to say, well, if the Knicks are gonna look for a star, I don't think there would be anybody that would advocate DiVincenzo being traded because of how well he's playing. It would have to be Randle. I'm like, oh. Listen, and DiVincenzo is playing well. Don't get me wrong. DiVincenzo is playing well.
Yeah.
But you're going to, so basically he's untouchable because he's been playing well, but our 3-time All-Star and 2-time All-NBA player can be traded. And you want to see how the team looks without Randle. Like, I don't think we're going to be that good, but I still want to see. Like, this anti-Randle sentiment is just amazing and crazy. Now, if you want to say for contract reasons, DiVincenzo probably wouldn't go in a trade for a star because, it's just he just doesn't make enough money. He doesn't have the talent to go in a trade for a star. I could get that. But that's not the point that was being made, or at least that I heard. So before we get to the phone lines, JJ, let's talk a little bit about Randle.
Mm-hmm.
What are we missing? This is an obvious question. What are we missing with him out? How much of what we're hoping to accomplish, even if we fall to the play-in, what we're hoping to accomplish, how much of that is dependent on how Randle plays in the playoffs?
I can make that quick. Any and everything. Like, he would be the main reason why him and Jalen Brunson, obviously, our two all-stars, our two best players. So, yeah, as he goes, that's why, I don't know, the whole topic of discussion in the beginning of the year is how Randle will play in the playoffs the next time he gets an opportunity to. So you can't turn around now and say that we don't need him if you thought that he needed to play well in the playoffs in order for us to succeed in the future. Like, you can't do that. That you can't have it both ways. You either need him or you don't need him in the playoffs. And for me, we definitely need him, and we're trying to win a championship. So if with the roster that we have now, without Randle, there's no chance that we would get anywhere close to the finals or even the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think. Like, we need Randle to beat everybody.
I mean, Ajay,
I mean, it's simple basketball. Like, not even 101. Basketball is 0. Like, the way he's playing right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, besides the 25, 10 and 5, Julius Randle is a magnet for double team. You know what happens when they double team him? Somebody's open. And if we have a starting lineup of OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, Isaiah Hartenstein, like, one of those guys is going to be open, we're scoring. We're scoring like every trip down the floor. He attracts double team. Think about it, especially so now when with DiVincenzo's better play lately, right? So now when Randle comes back, so what do they do on defense, right? Who do they double team? I mean, you have a lot of weapons with Julius Randle when you add Julius Randle. Listen, there's a reason why other teams plan for him. Okay. There's a scouting report on him. Their game plan is around how to stop Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. Okay. I mean, guys, if that's not a sign, then I don't know what is. Those are the greatest basketball minds in the world. And they tell you those are 2 guys on the team they have to stop. If that doesn't tell you how good he is, and I don't know what else to tell you that.
Right. And shout out to Greg for rocking with us. And finally, like Paris Duggar, putting a comment in the chat that I can put up on the screen. Like I said, I don't have a problem with comments that I disagree with. He's never done anything in the playoffs, so what will you be missing? I think, like Ajay just said, even if he's not scoring what he usually scores, it would be worse without him because he still draws that double team. He still draws a lot of attention, and that's going to still, give DiVincenzo, even if it's just one more foot of space, it's going to give those guys more space. Look at what's going on now without Randle. There's no double teams. Teams don't need to. Teams can basically play a base defense. Like they don't need to do anything special with this team the way it's presently constructed. And even with OG back, say OG comes back before Randle, he's not drawing a double team either. So the only way you're getting open shots would be moving the ball quickly or Brunson getting into the lane and passing out. Randle, even if he doesn't score the way we need him to in the playoffs, and I agree with you, Greg, the jury is still out on that. Even at 75%, he's going to draw that double. Yes, Ajay.
No, I was going to say that there's a follow-up to Greg too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, it could be better with someone. Well, Greg, please
give us some examples.
Give me an example. Who do you have in mind right now that's available right now that's going to replace Julius Randle that we can get on his team? Please. I'm curious.
For now, it's Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah.
And Precious is limited offensively.
Of course.
I mean, you can see the skill set, but this is not gymnastics. Like, you don't get points for skill sets. You get points for putting the ball in the basket. And when he's around the basket, sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. No contact. You can't hit his elbow. You can't put his shirt. You can't graze his thumb. You can't do anything. Or the ball is going to the other side of the. I don't get it. I still don't understand.
Come on, Greg. I'm still waiting for that name, Greg. Come on, baby. Come on.
And you see, he has the makings of a decent 3-point shot, but it's not going in. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, it hasn't gone in for him.
We're just offensively challenged right now.
Even our scorers are offensively challenged. Like even the guys that who is known for shooting, like Bogey and Burks both had like 4 and 5 points last night. Dante DiVincenzo had like 16 points on like how many shots? Like,
but Queen, you have to put some respect on OG's name because when Randle wasn't there, we were getting all the shots we wanted without only OG. Listen, yeah, but remember, it was the Knicks had stepped up. Remember, Hartenstein was playing out of his mind still. And OG was playing well. DiVincenzo was playing well. But this is the regular season.
We're talking about the playoffs.
We're talking about the playoffs. I don't feel confident going into the playoffs with a healthy Hartenstein and a healthy OG without Randle. OG not drawing no double T. I have a lot of respect for OG. I've been calling for him for over a year or so. To be on the team. So I have a lot of respect for him and for what he does. But OG's importance and his presence helps when your team is full. He like that. He's like the vanilla you put in, and it just makes everything better. But he ain't no baking soda. You know what I mean? He ain't that. He's not that. And I love him, but he's not that. So
Steph, you crazy. Caught me off guard with that one. I'm way too silly for you to be serious.
Right. Going into the playoffs,
I'm gonna laugh every time. I'm sorry.
We're gonna need Randle.
She said Precious was doing gymnastics. I was gonna tell you about that one too. I caught that one.
No, I'm saying people like his game looked good. He's like, but this is not gymnastics. You're not getting points because you looking good.
I used to say that about Grimes' jump shot. Gotta do more than look pretty. It gotta go in, yo. Like can't just look
like,
good.
oh, that look like an 8. What you gonna give him? I'm gonna give him a
Right?
7. Oh,
And it hit the side of the backboard.
it's a
Like,
2 or 3. That's it.
like, come on, man.
Oh man. So yeah, back to yeah, I guess we said all we were gonna say about Randle. I know there's still, let me know in the chat those who think we can go just as far in the playoffs without Randle, other than Greg and Paris, who oh Greg, I don't know about Paris, but I know Greg thinks
Paris is okay tonight.
that we can go.
You see,
I don't think Hartenstein is dogging it, because that's what that comment
Now,
says.
he looked hurt though. He looked hobbled, like he don't
Right.
look like himself running down the court. So I don't think he's faking it.
Yeah,
I think he's one of those dudes that it will play like last year. Didn't he play every game? He was the only one who played every game, right?
yep. Mhm.
And he had the Achilles problem then. Not like it's flaring up now, but
yeah.
you know, he had a sore Achilles last year and played on it. So I don't really think it's about that part. I don't think he's faking it.
I don't think he's faking
Not
it.
him.
Yeah, we can't go far without Randle. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
But Greg, did Greg give us a name and I missed it?
Nah,
Like a replacement for Randall?
No.
man.
Okay.
Probably gonna say Mook Morris or somebody, man. I don't know. Unless it's another all-star that we get in here.
Where's Mook, man? Is he?
I'll take him.
He was bought out.
He's bought out, right? So is he?
I'll take him. I take a lot of people right now, especially at the 5. My God,
He would be
At
undersized,
the
but I
4.
would still take him.
Yeah.
No, but we'd take him as a 4 though. He can't play the 5, man. I don't think Mook.
He's played the 5.
Yeah, he played the 5. Who
Undersized, though.
who playing the 5 for us now, AJ?
Precious.
See,
Precious.
Precious Lord, take our hand.
let
This is
us pray.
where we are singing gospel songs.
Yeah, let us pray, man. Yeah, I'll take him to play the 4 and the 5, whatever. Like he need to get minutes, and he's not the only one too. It's a couple people that we can look into the buyout market. I still don't know what's up with Robin Lopez. We could take a look at him. We just need bodies, man.
Yeah.
Tough bodies.
I'm surprised.
Make
I'm
sure.
surprised
Make
we.
sure
I'm surprised we don't go for him. At least give him a 10-day contract. See.
Hey, man, that's up to the big wigs, man. I don't know.
I don't hear anything.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Steph went out. AJ, it's me and you. Let's
me and you, baby.
What's going on, baby? What's going on,
We're
man?
not here.
I feel like the substitute teacher is. Oh, she back. Never mind. Never mind. She back. Steph, we was about to get loose. I said, I feel like the teacher left and the sub just came in. We was about to start throwing papers and everything. I was about to start cussing people out in the chat since you ain't.
I'm wondering. I'm connected to. It says connected for calls, but you guys didn't even hear it ringing, right?
No, I didn't hear anything.
I don't know what's going on.
I didn't hear anything.
Try again, JJ, if you don't mind.
Steph went out. We was about to have Def Comedy Jam. Then she came back. It was like, never mind. Let's talk Knicks. Let's talk basketball.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Call from
JJ.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, salute, Steph, AJ, Jerrell, what's good? What up?
What's up, JJ? What's going on, bro?
Salute.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man?
We good.
What up,
We
what
good.
up?
We appreciate you calling in. What you have for us?
Yeah, appreciate you taking my call. Yeah, man, I'm panicking.
You got
yeah.
nice and sad real quick, JJ. Damn.
No, listen,
Listen, I mean,
JJ's been keeping a tab on how many games we are out of the play-in.
Yeah, man.
He's been doing that
yeah,
the past couple of weeks.
yeah. I've been saying, unfortunately, I've been on that train for a while. I think it's inevitable, man. Like,
Wow.
I don't see how we don't fall to the play-in. I think Orlando will pass us. I think Miami will pass us. And then I think that last spot, that 6th seed, I think it comes down to either the Knicks, Philly, or Indiana. So I just don't think I mean, every game is just going to be a grind. I don't care who we play. Portland, Detroit. I mean, we got lucky to beat Detroit. You know, when you're starting, no offense to these guys, but we're playing 2-on-5. When you're starting Hart, Achiuwa, and Hartenstein, I mean, you know how easy that is? That's going to make it for defenses to trap Brunson or trap DiVincenzo. It's not going to work. Like, you're going to have to put another scorer in there. You know, you got to get Bogey in there. I just think you have to. You
I
know,
agree. But what are you? So are you nervous because you feel if we fall to the play-in that we won't be able to have a successful playoff season, or you just don't want us in the
I
play-in
mean,
period, regardless?
you don't want to be in the play. You don't want unnecessary games. Like, you just don't want to be in the play-in. Like you said, Steph, once you're in the play-in, anything could happen. You don't know what could happen in one game or 2 games. Anything could go down. I mean, you don't know. What if you play Philly in the play-in and then Bede's back, and you know, then you're in a 1-game play-in. You just don't know. You don't want to be in that spot. And I just think with these injuries, I just think we're going to end up like 7 or 8, and then, you know, in that play-in scenario.
What if we're 7th or 8th, JJ, with 8
Yeah.
games left and everybody is back? Do you think we can go on a run and work our way out of that play-in spot?
It's a good question. My thing is, I hear everyone saying it, Knicks fans, like, once we got our guys, it's not that simple, in my opinion. Like, they're going to be rusty. They're going to need to gain chemistry again. I just don't think it's like, all right, everyone's back. Now we're going to win 12 out of 13. I don't think it's that simple. It takes time. You know, these guys haven't played with Bogey and Burks. Even OG, he didn't play a ton of games here before he went down. It's going to take time to gain chemistry. It's going to take time to knock the rust off. Like, I don't think it's that easy. All right, everyone's back. Now we're beating the world. I think it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We may be underestimating the chemistry part once we do get healthy.
Yeah. I mean, the playing, it's scary. And then you're playing who? Boston or Milwaukee. Me personally, what I want is a 6 seed. I'd rather have 6 than 4 or 5, because then you avoid Boston till the ECF if we make it that far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with the 6 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hope Cleveland gets the 3 seed and not Milwaukee. That's what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, even in the 7th seed, though, if you lose one game, you do get another one, right?
Right.
And so it's not like it's not like a 1-game elimination.
Well,
I think if you're in the 9th or 10th spot.
Well,
Right.
no. Well, Queen, if you 7, you lose, you get another one. But that one, if you win that one, you're the 8th seed. You play Boston,
Right?
so you really don't want that.
Yeah,
But you know
really
what? When you look at this Eastern Conference, who do we really want? Everybody in this Eastern the Knicks can beat everybody, and I think the Knicks can get beat by everybody. Anybody.
Yeah, there's no terrible teams. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair.
There's no. Would you be shocked if the Knicks lost to? I would be a little shocked if the Knicks lost to Orlando, but I wouldn't be shocked if they lost to Indiana in a series. I would be disappointed. I would be a little surprised given their inexperience. I don't know if I would be shocked though.
Mm.
Right.
Fully healthy, I might be shocked about the Pacers.
Yeah.
Fully healthy, I think I might be a little shocked about the Pacers, to be honest. Just because they're so young, they haven't been there, and this isn't our second time in the playoffs. We got vets now. So I'd be shocked fully healthy if we lost to the Pacers.
Even fully healthy and the team
I want
together
the
for 5
Pacers.
games.
Say that again.
Fully healthy and the team only played together, say 5-6 games, you would still be shocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless our dudes just like no chemistry at all,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see Pacers beating us in a 7-game series. They might win a couple games, but not 4 out of 7. I don't see it. Not with them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, I want the Pacers. Halliburton's
Wow.
quickly become my least favorite. I don't know. He just, I don't know. He just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I just feel like he tries to be like a fake tough. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I can't stand him personally. I would love to knock him out
Yeah.
of the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah. Thoughts.
You know.
Thoughts.
But
on,
I was also
go
my
ahead.
bad.
Go ahead, JJ.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I was looking at the strength of schedules, and another reason why I feel Miami and Orlando will probably end up with a better record is because they have the 2 easiest schedules left by far, 1 and 2. Orlando is the easiest, and then Miami is second easiest. So, I know not everyone cares about that type of stuff. Because, you never know, but I think that does matter. And yeah. They have some cupcake schedules, those 2 teams.
Yeah,
So,
and it doesn't look like Cleveland is giving up that number 2 spot.
Yeah, I think top 3 is solidified. Yeah, Boston, and then whoever gets 2 or 3 between Cleveland, Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee has won 4 straight, I believe.
I'm about to say they're only a game.
Yeah, I'm watching them now. Yeah, I'm watching them now on ESPN. 15 versus Chicago. Milwaukee. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. You guys take it easy. Appreciate you taking my call.
Great call,
JJ. Thanks, man.
Great call, JJ. All the time.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Appreciate you guys, man.
All right, bye-bye.
All right.
That's JJ. JJ,
Yeah,
you gotta come up. You gotta come on the panel. Rock
JJ,
with us one of these days.
JJ nervous.
Hey man, he's not the only one. A lot of people is talking. I don't want to say talking crazy, but a lot of people, they really seeing us actually lose games because we already talked about this. Like, we're obviously not healthy. We knew we was going to lose games. We talked about this multiple times in the last few weeks. It's just here now, and people are actually seeing the losses in real time.
Right.
That's all. We knew this was going to happen. We didn't know we was going to be on a losing streak or anything like that, but we knew this was going to be tough. It has to be. We're losing like a lot of starters and bench players.
Would you be surprised if the Knicks came back with 12 games to go and ran the table?
Like, regardless of health, like, it don't matter?
No. They were healthy. We were healthy with like 12 games to go, and would you be surprised if they ran the table?
No, I wouldn't be surprised. Fully healthy. I really like this team. So I don't think the chemistry part of it, I'm not saying is not going to be a factor, but I would rather them be healthy and we worry about the chemistry than the other way around.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with you. I just think this team, we talk about the talent on the team and how balanced the team is now. We don't talk enough about the grit of this team. If this team is healthy and they look at the standings and they see that they are either in the playoffs or in danger of being in the playoffs, that team going 10-2. They just those types of guys. They're just those types of guys. So it's just really how many do we have when they're fully healthy? How many games do we have to catch up?
Right.
That's what I think.
And well, so Queen, I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm looking at. Listen, I don't know, but the next few games we should be able to pull. It's obviously Cleveland.
We went down to the last possession with Detroit. I just want you to know.
Yeah, what you about to say crazy?
No, listen, Cleveland. It'll be a miracle for us to be Cleveland because they're fully healthy and they're playing like. But then Atlanta, Trae Young's not playing. Like, he's out, and we should win that game.
We have to win that game.
We have to win that game.
I'm sorry. Who was it?
The Hawks.
The Hawks.
We have to win that game.
They're without Trey Young.
That's what I'm saying. So we should win that game.
Aquanda, what's his name? The center.
Aquanda?
Yeah, he's out too.
Yeah, we have to win that game.
We have to win that game. Then we have Orlando. I don't think that's a loss. That's a toss-up. Then we have 2 Phillies in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And you feeling mad confident with Atlanta, Orlando, and 2 Phillies? Wow.
Not
Yeah.
me.
I don't
Really?
feel confident at all.
Yeah, like I saw the way that we played against Detroit, man. They actually got robbed. Like, dude, we could have lost that game, man.
Yeah.
Like really easily too. Like it's tough right now. It's like Jalen Brunson and a bunch of dudes, man. That's what it looked like.
And the thing about it is the Knicks are playing so hard, and they are stepping up. Josh Hart with 18, rebounds. McBride hitting big shots, for us. We just don't have enough.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Guys, you guys, the Warriors game, outside of that horrible start, first of all, I got to the game and I turned on the game. It was 14-0. I was like, wait a minute, some more.
Go out again and come back.
I backed up and went back again. Once
it got,
I was like, is that right?
Once it got to like 8 or 9, I forgot. I was like, oh, it's over. This is over. Like,
But you do realize outside of that start, that was not. We could have won that game.
Yeah.
If we didn't have that older 14 start.
So let me ask you guys this question: are you buying that the Knicks are losing because we don't have Randle or OG and Isaiah Hartenstein is not 50%? Or do you feel like the Knicks have enough talent left that they should find a way to win these games?
Hell no.
Well,
not me. Like I'll be quick. No. I don't think that's the case at all.
Some games I think we have enough talent to win. So, for instance, right, Orlando. Yeah, Orlando's playing great, but we have 2 guys, Burks and Bogdanovic, who together could give you 30 points on average. If we get those guys to play the way they can play, we can win those games.
But Ajay,
Orlando beat us when we healthy. Like they beat us by 18 points, I think, the last time we played them. Or was it 20?
Jerrell, you know,
like that was a bad matchup for us.
Yeah, but
hate to say it.
You know, on any given night, unhealthy and all, we can beat the
on any given night. No,
yes, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that. You're right.
But if we can get those guys to play decent, we can win those games.
This is the thing, Ajay. Don't you think there's a difference when you're giving us 15 points playing off of guys where you're getting easy looks, or if you're trying to get 18 points when the defense can now key on you because they don't have to double Randle? Like, I don't know if we can expect the same thing from these guys being the way they're going to be guarded now because there's nobody taking the pressure off of them.
Well, listen, I'm not saying we can expect it. I'm just saying if they can give us that. I'm not saying, listen, obviously, since they've been here, they haven't been able to do it. So, no, I don't expect it. But if those guys, listen, they just came from Detroit, right? Mm-hmm. Who in Detroit was the defense keying on that Burks and Bogdanovic were going off? I mean, did they have a Randle or Brunson that was keeping the defense occupied, that those guys were wide open? No. Those guys.
Who's about 28th in defense.
No, but I'm saying those guys, whoever they were playing, they were guarding them, because it's not like Detroit have other guys that, you know, that kept the defense occupied, that those guys were wide open. That's not the case. Those guys were being guarded normally, and they were able to score, 14 and 20 points respectively. Those 2 guys, Burks and Bogdanovic. Why can't they do it here?
Because I think it's going to be harder to get shots against Orlando than it is against Detroit.
No. I'm saying when they were in Detroit and Detroit was playing Orlando, Orlando was guarding them, but they were still able to get their shots off. You follow what I'm saying? So it's not like Detroit has a Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle
Got you.
that were keeping them busy, that those guys were wide open. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
why can't they do it here? That's my point.
It's just that they're inconsistent. That's all. They're both bench players in the NBA right now. Bogey was starting, but he was starting on the worst team in the NBA.
Knicks 100 had a turnaround. He said, "Listen, maybe we need to play him." Maybe we need it.
Just to get us a swift kick in the butt real quick. You know what I mean?
He said them 3 extra games could be huge for our chemistry.
Yep. Yep. He might be right.
Wow.
He might be right.
Nah, man.
4793749. Call from
Silk.
to accept.
Hello there.
Hey, Queen. Hey, what's up? Jerrell, RJ, this is
Yes.
Silk.
What's up, Silk? What's going on,
Salute,
bro?
salute, bro. Salute.
How you doing?
All right.
All right. Where you
Hey,
calling
Queen,
from?
I don't know. I'm Brooklyn.
All right.
Brooklyn all day.
That's what I'm talking about. What you got for us?
Before I get into the Knicks talk, I don't know if RJ's a Giant fan, but I know Jerrell and you are. How y'all feeling about Saquon? You're nervous or what?
Big Blue, baby.
For me, I'm not nervous because even though I like Saquon, he's been a pillar of our community. I'm just, at this point, I think he should just go where he's wanted. Let's just say that. Like, if he leaves, I won't be upset, but I do want to keep him, though.
I hear you.
If we get a new quarterback, I would want to keep him. If we
Absolutely. If we draft a rookie quarterback, we need to keep Saquon Barkley. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I got some Giant fans. It seems like a few more frustrated with Saquon. They like ready to if he walks, he walks. I'm like, yeah, but you ain't got no offense. Saquon gone, who you got?
Right.
But Queen, I don't know if you heard because I was talking to Sim yesterday after the post game show,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought it up to him that our offensive success is basically 2 consistent 20-point scorers and one guy that can contribute 15 to 20, which in the past that used to be RJ.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 2 defensive guys, Grimes in the center. Grimes could hit an occasional shot, but our offense flowed when we had 3 guys who could give us at least 20 to 15. That's why I've been pushing for Bogey to be in the starting lineup instead of Precious. The Precious is not scoring anymore. Precious we were doing all right when he was giving us 10 to 12 points a game. He ain't really doing that no more, and we only got 2 guys. We got Brunson and we got Dante, and Dante sometimes takes to the second half to get his jump shot flowing. So now those 2 guys are not hitting. It's too easy to check us. I agree with JJ. It's too easy to check us in the first quarter. We get down in these first quarter. We come back a little bit, but our offense is struggling in the first because we don't have no alternative when it's Dante's off and Brunson's being triple teamed. Who else you got out there that can shoot?
Yeah. I'm not adverse. I'm not mad at Bogey in that starting unit. I don't know what's his rebounding like though, because remember Hart ain't. So basically, it would be either Hart and Bogey, and then at other times Sims and Bogey in terms of the 4-5. I mean,
all right.
I get you. We
I
do
was
need
always
some
for Bogey.
offense.
Right. And I was always, I told Sim early on, I was for Bogey. And I was watching when he came back off his calf injury in November. And he looks like he plays better when there's a somebody you watching. Like when he was coming off the bench, he was coming back a little slow. When Detroit put him in the starting lineup, and he played with Cade and Jaden Ivey, and they driving and going to the lane, and people had to converge on them, and they kick it out to him, he was sniping. See, he plays better. If he's not the lead dog right now on the bench,
Right.
he's the lead scorer.
Right.
Burks ain't scoring.
Right.
Hart ain't scoring.
Right.
So they throwing it to him in the post and try to make him do that. That's not his game. His game is like when he was with Utah. Spider was driving, and they were kicking him to open shots, little post with a drive, when he ain't being paid that much attention.
Right.
That's why I want him with Brunson, because Burks is killing me. I like Burks, but he's killing me. And I do not want to see Bogey and Burks in the lineup at the same time no more. We suck defensively when they both in the lineup at the same time. If Burks is in the lineup, Bogey's not. If Bogey's in the lineup, Burks is not. I don't need them playing together. Because defensively, no matter who we have with them, when they're both in the lineup together, you see teams going 6-0 runs, 7-0 runs on us. I'm tired of that.
Right. Yeah.
But
I think you make a very good point that some pretty much our entire roster, other than Brunson, plays better when somebody is setting them up.
Right.
And that's just that's just it. So now you got Bogey in that second unit. Now he's trying to create. And he can't put the ball on the floor. But they can key on him because he's pretty much him and Burks primary offensive players in that second unit. So you're right.
And he's not athletic, so he can't be beating those two guys coming at him. So, but he can quick shoot it. He could post a little bit when you paying attention to other guys. Because with Dante Brunson, you ain't gonna be keen on Bogey hard like that. So you worry about Brunson and Dante.
Right.
And that's why. And Dante and Brunson could threaten the middle of the paint with the post game and driving to the layup. And then Dante's out there waiting for the shot to hit the three.
Right.
So that's why I know Tibbs probably not going to do it because he wants that rebound and he wants that shot block and the pressure gives him. But right now, it's not working. So put down the chart and try something different. I was telling Tim yesterday.
Yeah.
Tim said I sounded desperate. And I said I am. So we only won three out of 8. No, two and 8 since the trade. And we too close to that bottom.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
we are. I think only one game, right? I looked at it before. The show was one game.
Yep.
In a few games now, we could be half a game.
I don't know. Did Philly pass them? Because they won tonight. Oh, they in 4 now.
Wow. I think we played more games than them. So even if they did win, I think we're still the 4th for now. For now.
I know. I had a bet with a friend and he said we're gonna get knocked down the first round. I said, can I renege on that bet? Because I'm getting nervous now.
Listen, if we're not healthy, we might, and if we're not 100%, we might. Right? If we limping into the playoffs with Isaiah Hartenstein still having Achilles injury issues, Mitch, even if he's back, I'm not sure how many minutes he's going to be able to get you. He usually takes some time to ramp up, right?
Right.
Randle, it sounds like he's going to need surgery in the off season, so he probably won't be 100.
I really don't,
but not 100%.
I really don't expect Mitch to come back, to be honest.
Me either.
I don't think he's coming back.
Man, that'd be tough for him. That's asking a lot, man. He just had surgery. He got screws in his ankle. For him to come back and just lower leg injury like that's tough to come back. Like, I don't expect him. And even if he did come back, I don't expect him to be Mitch.
No. Just to give us a few minutes. And he's not even running yet.
Yeah, it's March, man.
Yeah, I don't worry about them saying Mitch ain't shooting because Mitch don't shoot. So that part that he ain't shooting yet. Okay, that's Mitch. Okay, he ain't shooting.
That's what he should be practicing now. He should be in a chair somewhere, just going like this, practicing that elbow.
Yeah.
But Queen, I told when Hartenstein first got hurt, and Sim thought I was crazy, but saying because we need wins. I said with that Achilles thing, I wouldn't play Hart until April 1st.
No, that's Jerrell.
I know we need him. I know we losing.
Yeah.
Yep. I wouldn't play him either.
Yeah, I know we need him. Because Sim was saying, well, suppose he come back and he don't look any better. I like, but that Achilles knee wrist, I ain't trusting it may not pop. They probably told KD that in the finals before it popped.
Right, exactly. That's why he played in the pop.
Well, so the thing with the Achilles, right? If you don't play him, it doesn't make it less likely to pop, and you can't have surgery unless it pops. So if anything, play him, let it pop, and let it fix it.
You saying get it out the way?
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you do? You
man.
drag it on forever. Like, he's 24, man. He still got his whole career ahead of him, man.
Nah.
Do you keep him 50% for
Nah.
the next 3-4 years? So,
But do you remember how Hart looked last year, the first half of the season when he was trying to play in that strained Achilles? He looks like he looking now. It took him like until January or February before he started looking like he did this shit.
That is true.
He looked terrible the first half. They're like, who do we get?
Yep.
We were doubting Hartenstein the first half of last year.
Right.
Well, I would just give him the rest to get it right, so he could be the Energizer Bunny. He's our Hart at the big man. He's the Energizer Bunny as our big man, and he ain't energizing nothing right now. His battery is dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I got y'all. I just want to see what your opinion on that.
No.
all right, man.
I mean,
Thanks for the call, Silk, man.
Yeah, salute, bro. You're always great, man.
All right.
appreciate you.
Thanks.
Have a good one, y'all.
All right.
All
You
right,
too.
man.
Too.
It's a tough position to be in, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. If he doesn't play, I don't think it makes it better. It doesn't, he could take a whole month off, come back day one, and it pops.
But when he first heard it, didn't they say rest is the only thing that makes it better, though?
Yeah.
Like how else would it get better? I guess
sometimes it flares up.
It still flares up, though.
Well, I don't know.
All right. I know Jerrell is already.
Yeah. I will have to say goodbye to everyone. I got a hard out at 11 o'clock tonight. Salute to the chat. Steph, Ajay, you already know. Knicks family, I will be here next week. So everybody have a good night, man. I'll holler at y'all.
Thanks, Jerrell. Thanks for being here, man.
All right. We're gonna go a little later, but it won't be a 4-hour.
Yeah, we got him spoiled, Queen. The last couple of weeks been like 4-hour shows.
Yeah. Let's well, I want to talk about McBride, but before we do that, who's the player of the month for you in February? We were 4-8, other than Brunson, or in addition to Brunson, who's surprised you or who's played well? Who's the player of the month for you?
I have
Doesn't
two.
even have to be the person who's the player who scored the most.
I have two guys who's played great besides Brunson, right? There's Brunson and then
or in addition to Brunson. Either way,
in addition to Brunson. Not counting the last two games, Precious Achiuwa has been the guy for me. Because he's had a stretch of really good games where you feel like, oh man, this guy, he could be a real great backup to Julius Randle when Julius Randle comes back. So he looks like he could give you like 15, 18 minutes, if you don't want to play Julius Randle coming back from an injury. You don't want to play him 40 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? And also with Mitch out, Precious has had a few minutes at the 5. So he's been impressive in that sense that he's been playing pretty well. Mm-hmm. Like I said, not counting the last two games. In the last game, he was like really out of it. Like, it was like really, really bad game for him. But anyway, so the second guy is, of course, DiVincenzo. We knew DiVincenzo was a good player, and we actually knew he was going to be really good with this team. But I don't think any one of us thought he would be that good, because you knew he could play. You seen him play with the Golden State Warriors and even when he's Milwaukee, he didn't play a lot of minutes, but you could say, oh, this guy is really good. But we didn't know he was going to be this, like the way he's, of course, if there's one thing I would change with DiVincenzo is the let down games, because when he's off, man, he's really off when he's off. But then, the guy, he could give you 20 and up on a regular basis. So he's been, and shout out to Deuce McBride, like we said earlier in the show. Yeah. Deuce McBride, and kudos to Tibbs, because, at all the young guys, somehow the two guys that were less popular, the two guys that got the least amount of playing time on this team, and the two guys that everybody thought were, some of us thought they don't even belong in the NBA, and those are two guys that are still with the team, and when given the chance, they produce most of the time. Most of the time, they come through and do what they need to do. So, yeah, and that and those are the guys who've impressed me. Do we go the other way around? People who's been disappointing?
We can do that. Let me just get some words in. I'm gonna go with DiVincenzo, but I agree with you in terms of Precious. But DiVincenzo's been holding us down. Well, a lot of games. He's had some stinkers in there too. The thing with Devo, I just would like him to diversify his game a little bit. And maybe he's getting tired as well. Because I felt like earlier in the month he was mixing it up, bringing the ball up, driving into the key, cutting to the back. We haven't even seen cuts, like cutting to the basket. But I guess he's saying cut off for who, there was a little more diversity in his game. And I think as of late, it's just a lot of 3-point shooting. Somebody said in the chat that, he's playing injured, so that may have something to do with it. A lot of these players may be banged up, as well. But DiVincenzo has been really, really good for us on the season, and he's been really good for us this month, even if the past few games he hasn't been at his best.
Right.
And I agree with you with Precious, and we'll leave McBride. We're gonna have a whole segment on
Deuce.
On Deuce next. But you wanted to ask a question about going the other way.
Well, I mean, we talked about that. The two guys that they brought in, and I mean, we really got to talk about Burks, because I don't know, Queen. I don't get it. I don't get it that he's that bad. I mean, I understand the adjustment period, the getting reacquainted to Tom Thibodeau's to this team or whatever, but I mean, you're a professional. You've been in the league for so many years. You're talented. I don't understand why it takes so long. It's just he's in a deep funk right now.
Let me ask you a question. Are you commenting on his shooting or his overall play?
Overall play.
Okay.
His defense hasn't been great. He's not as bad as Bogdanovic, but we're talking cone here with Alec Burks. His defense, he hasn't played defense since he's been here. So he hasn't really given us nothing, like anything at all. And that's I wonder if, I don't want to find out at the end of the season, Burke was hurt. You know what I'm saying? And then we're like, oh, that's why he wasn't playing. But he hasn't been himself. He
hasn't been. I just think I'm not. Well, let me ask you this: what was your expectation of Burks coming over to the Knicks?
Listen, is with the injuries, because when he came in, we already had those guys were already out. Okay, with those injuries, with those guys out, when he came in, I expected Detroit Piston Burks to be here. After maybe 1 or 2 days adjustment period, you expect the coaching staff to do some work with them, bring him up to speed. You know what I'm saying? But after a couple of games, I expect to see at least Pistonsburg over here. I don't even know what Burke I'm seeing right now.
And you don't think that the fact that he's in a different role, not playing off of guys getting shots, makes a difference?
The Queen, the role I expect him to be is the role he was playing. He was in Detroit. That's not a different role for him. He was coming off the bench. He was the guy coming off the bench. Why can't he be the guy coming off the bench here? It's literally the same thing he's doing here, and I just expect the same result.
Yeah, I don't know. I think don't give up on Burks.
No, I'm not giving up on him. I'm just saying.
I think we'll see.
And like I told you in the chat, I'm just about run out of patience with him. Because we remember we talk about Tibbs rotations, right? Like 9-man, 10-man rotations or whatever.
Mhm.
Burks, he might be the guy out of the rotation.
But he wasn't playing backup point guard in Detroit either. To Nick's a nice point.
No, but he's coming off the bench still, though. He was still coming off the bench.
But yeah, but just because you're walking down the same street, it's not to say. I mean, he's playing a different role. So it's a difference between playing a point guard and the expectation for you to get yours and set up others, and playing off the ball where you're just waiting and you get it and you shoot. You just have less responsibility. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. He's not playing well. He's not shooting well. I'm not particularly enamored with his floor game at the point guard position either. And I thought he could give you some minutes at the point guard, mostly two guard, give you like 10 minutes, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes in the second half. Point guard, I don't even think he can do that. I just think he has to be off the ball. And I think if he's off the ball, I think you see a different Burks.
I agree. Then, Thibodeau plays him as a point guard. I know he's not a point guard. We don't have a point guard coming. We do. I mean, Deuce McBride, but we understand that Deuce McBride, he's not a point guard. He's just a small shooting guard, really. I don't know. It's a problem.
Yeah.
In the backcourt.
Yeah. But I hear what you're saying. Burks can score. Bojan can score. We're having problems scoring without OG and Randle. Score.
Yeah.
Give us some scoring. So I get it. Let's transition to McBride. He's getting a bit more time now with the injuries, right? You would think he would get even more time than he's getting now. What has impressed you, if anything, about him? And has he changed your mind about his ability to play the point guard spot? And has he changed your mind about being in the rotation in the playoffs if you thought he was out of the rotation in the first place?
Yeah, I did think he would.
That's like 15 questions, but
I did think he would have been out of the rotation in the playoffs. I thought in the playoffs he would have been situational. And knowing Tibbs, that may still be the case, even if he's playing well. I don't think that makes a difference to Tom Thibodeau at all. Like, he has his mindset, what he wants to do, that's what he's going to do. He hasn't changed my mind in that he can play the point guard. Like I said, I feel like his game is more like a shooting guard game, but because he's small, people assume that he's a better point guard, but I think he's a better shooting guard. And right now you see how he's more efficient in his shooting, so it's starting to show even more that he's actually a shooting guard in a point guard body, or in a small point, in the small body. Relatively an NBA small guy, but he's not a small guy. So no, he hasn't convinced me that he's able to play the point guard. Yeah, he could play for spot minutes. He could bring up the ball if nobody else. If it's just him and a bunch of big guys, yeah, he could bring up the ball. But he's not ideal when you want somebody, like you like to call those non-Brunson minutes. It's not ideal that Deuce McBride is the guy you want bringing up the ball, because he's more efficient. He's more productive when he's playing off the ball. What I'm saying.
Yeah, because I was watching him the other day. I thought he did okay, in terms of bringing the ball down, passing it to the wing, cutting, initiate the offense. But the thing with him is you're not putting him in pick and roll. Like, it's not like you could put him in a pick and roll with somebody and he can make all of the passes, or he could hit the roller. Like, they don't put him in those. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember seeing him in a pick and roll action. So, and he's not somebody that's going to get in the key consistently, draw the defense, and create shots for others consistently. I've seen him do it, but I mean consistently. But
and that's what I said. For a couple of minutes, he could do it, but this is not somebody you could put in for like 12, 15 minutes while, if you want to rest Brunson.
Right. But what he can do, he can bring the ball up, even though Knicks are nice and he can't dribble. He can bring the ball up and like pass to, like they want some action. I don't know if somebody in the chat knows the name of it, where he'll come down, pass the ball to the wing, run off the ball, get the ball back for his shot or what have you. I think he's good in that respect. And obviously we know about his defense and he's hitting open shots, and the pull up now. The pull up off the dribble in the mid range is working for him. But in terms of generating offense for others, that's just not where he is right now, and which is fine.
He's not there yet. I don't know if he's not going to be there, but he's just not there yet. I don't think.
But are you more comfortable with him now, like seeing him a bit more handling the ball in the playoffs? Or you still feel the same?
I still feel the same with him handling the ball, and that's why I was hoping Burks would be a little more helpful. And shout out to my guy Sharon, who he's actually always in the chat, Queen. But he's not as vocal. But he says we don't have a choice. Deuce has to run the point. I agree with this. Because Burks is playing. Burks is not playing well, so we really don't have a choice. Those non-Brunson minutes, we have to give him to Deuce. If I were Tom Thibodeau, I would just do it now and let him get used to it. That way when it's time to put him in for spot minutes in the playoffs, he's a little bit, he's a little bit more in the groove and know what to expect from him. So, but right now, he's not ideal, but. Yeah, we don't have a choice. I would just play him and, more, those non-Brunson minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Tibbs doing this with Brunson, and when McBride is in, we have to do the same thing, and we have been doing the same thing. He's not running a pick and roll. Like, that's just not his game. So basically, he initiates the offense, and then he comes off a screen so that he can shoot. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he can shoot or drive into the middle and pull up. So I mean, they're kind of creating an offense in such a way where he can be effective. But he's just not somebody that's going to generate good looks for other people. I shouldn't say that, because I do see him consistently. I have seen him, drive and find find a cutter or drive and find somebody for a 3-point shot. So I have seen that.
Queen. So something we touched up on earlier. Do you think? I mean, I don't know the state of our roster right now. I don't know if we have I think we still have 1 or 2 more spots we have to fill in, right? Or is that Toppin? Is that Toppin and
that his name?
Dwayne Washington, maybe?
Yeah. Or Charlie Brown, one of them.
Oh, Charlie Brown. Yeah, Charlie Brown's on there.
Right. They sent them down to the G League, but I think I think they'll be back for Saturday. Go ahead.
Do we go after somebody? Is Mook available? I think Mook was bought out. I don't know that he's on any other team right now.
Yeah, he is. I was reading something, but that was Muscala who signed with someone. So Mook is
where is he playing?
Muscala signed with OKC.
Not Muscala. Mook.
I think he's
Morris Senior.
I think
he's available.
I think so.
But why are we not going after him?
I don't see him as a you see him as a fit. Like, he's not a great defensive player or rebounder. I mean, he's He's physical, that's for
he's
sure.
he's average across the board. He's average at everything. He's an average rebounder. He's not a terrible. He grab you a couple of rebounds, and he's not a cone. He's not a traffic cone out there, and he could score. Score a few points. So he's like literally the guy in the middle.
Yeah.
We need those big bodies out there. We just,
But he's about Precious Achiuwa's height too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I just don't see him as a fit for Tibbs, but I don't have a problem with Mook. I mean, he's going to give you everything he has. He's going to hit the three. He's going to rebound a little bit. Yeah. But he's an undersized. If you play him at center, he will be undersized.
I would be more comfortable playing Achiuwa at the center. Even if they're about, I think Achiuwa's slightly taller. Maybe it got him by an inch. I don't remember that. We could look that up. But I'd be more comfortable playing Precious Achiuwa at the 5, instead of Morris Senior.
Playing Morris at the 4.
Yeah, he's a natural 4. He's played the 4. When he played for the Knicks, he played the 4.
Right, he did. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. The only thing about Achiuwa at the 5 is he a little conish at the 5 too, because it's a different skill set, right? It's not out on the perimeter moving your feet laterally to stay in front of guys. It's being physical, it's boxing out, it's getting rebounds, he can't get you second chance opportunities, but he's not a rim protector at all.
Queen, come on, man. How many block shots he's had? He's had some tremendous block shots for us.
Yeah, blocking a shot don't make you a rim protector, though.
Come on, man.
He's been people out the key.
Listen, because the NBA is not afraid of him, they're not scared of him. That don't mean he's not a rim defender, because he's been defending the rim.
No.
And listen, he had a game after the game. They interviewed him. He said, "Listen, I could guard 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5." I'm gonna take his word for it.
Well, we watch him though. You notice when he's at the 5 position, they can pretty much get what they want in the key.
Yeah, it depends on who's he playing against though. But yeah, no, he can't guard. He's a 4, but if we need a 5 between him and somebody like Morris Senior, I would play him at the 5 instead of Mook.
Yeah,
I mean, Mook is not giving you. I mean, he's really not a 5.
He's not a 5, but neither is Precious. But I hear what you're saying. You would prefer Precious at the 5 than
No, I mean, he's not. He's a pretty good shot blocker. He's blocked quite a. He's had games with a couple of blocks.
A rim protector and defending in the lane than blocking shots. That's all I'm saying. There's more to it than just blocking shots. Guys come in there. Just like when before Hartenstein woke up, he was another one. When Mitch first went out, they was just waltzing in there scoring. But listen, if they're gonna sit Hart, and I don't think they are, then yeah, they gotta bring
somebody else in
replacement.
Yeah.
Sims has been playing well. The thing with Sims, I think, I meant to talk about this when Jerrell was here, is who he is. Don't ask him or expect anything more. He just this is what he does, and he does it well most of the time. That's it. I think we get into trouble as a fan base when we want players to be more and do more than they are.
He had a little mid range yesterday though. Yeah,
he
had a little.
He
was aggressive. He drove to the basket. Got a little.
He did. He
got a little something.
He did.
So don't blame us for expecting stuff, because we're watching. We're like, oh wait, you mean he could do this? So
Sims, just keep doing what you're doing, baby. Rebound. Play that good tough. Defense. Move your feet out there on the perimeter. And don't turn into, Kareem out there. Just,
Queen
just do what
Sharon.
you do.
I newsflash. Sims is not developing. I mean, he. This is it.
Developed.
That's it. He's done. He's reached. This is it. You're not gonna get anything more than what you got right now. So it's not a matter of developing any faster or anything like that. I mean, this is who he's gonna be as an NBA player.
Yeah. I mean, remember, Sharon, he played 4 years at Texas. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years at Texas. And this is his 3rd or 4th season in the NBA. I think what we see is
I think this is his 4th, right? He got drafted with the Deuce in him.
Okay.
Right?
I believe
This is
so.
year 4.
Yeah. So I think this is
it.
Yeah. This is it.
He's not gonna become Joel Embiid. That's it.
Yeah. Kerry Cox says he believes Morris is done.
Done meaning like he retired, or he's washed, like he
washed.
Oh.
Okay. He's saying defensively, he thought he would be more versatile playing defense against 3s, 4s, and 5s, just based on his athleticism. I think he does pretty good.
He does
out there on the perimeter when he switched out on smaller players.
I think he does too. Yeah. And that's one thing about our guys, him and even Precious, those guys, they, the little guys don't just run circles around them. I mean, they actually put up an effort. They make it challenging for them to get their shot off. So,
yeah, no doubt about it. Now, we were talking about the Knicks being a championship contender when everyone's healthy. Seeing the backup crew, albeit we're seeing them without Randle and without OG. Do you think it's just a matter of health, or do you think the Knicks need a little more?
No, we need a little more.
Right. And I don't think did you feel like that before watching these guys?
Well, I felt like that before.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Before the trade and after the trade, I still feel the same way. We got OG Anunoby, and Queen, as part of our conversation, in the chat and all that stuff with text. Remember when that trade first came out, like, I thought they were saving Quentin Grimes and Fournier to get like a big fish in here. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who would like really make a difference. Not that those guys won't make a difference. I mean, they can get us to probably further than we've been in the last couple of years. But I mean, I don't know that this roster kid is a championship contender. I mean,
so you going back? Didn't you think they were?
No.
Even when we had the show, was that the show you missed?
Probably. I don't think they're a championship contender. But having said that, I don't think. And one thing I said, and I don't remember which show that was, and I told you, it's gonna be like in the NBA, anything can happen, but we're not likely to beat the Boston Celtics to make it to the final. If we ever get to that, they just have a better team. They just have a better team than we have.
They have a better starting 5. That bench with Cornette is in their rotation. Luke Cornette is in their rotation. Pritchard. Like, I agree with you. They listen, they're that starting 5 is stout. It was stout last year when you bring in Drew Holiday and KP. So I'm not arguing with you there. But that bench,
Al Hartford's on that bench.
Yeah, but he about 49 though.
I know we have Bogdanovic is about 48, so we have we kind of have the same situation.
But the thing
Um,
about it, to your point, in the playoffs, they might go 7, and those guys may log a lot of minutes, so they may be playing against our second team guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's again in the NBA, anything can happen, right? Anything.
Yeah, they picked up
But
Tillman
yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
from Memphis. They did do
From
that.
Memphis, yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
But we do need a little more, and I think the front office knows that. I don't think the front office think that we could win a championship with what we have. Yeah, we could take a chance and go. We'll go as far as we can with that. But and when you go in the West, you're gonna play either somebody like Denver Nuggets or Cat in them over in Minnesota. I mean, I don't know. Do you think you could beat those guys in a 7-game series? I don't think so.
Who's that?
Either Denver Nuggets or Minnesota, the Timberwolves.
It's so hard to say because we just haven't seen the team. Like I just haven't seen the second unit. Those second unit, those other matchups, other than lineups, I should say, other than our starters, I haven't seen those lineups, those Burks lineups, those Bogdanovic lineups that might be with a DiVincenzo and a Randle, or you understand? I just haven't seen them. But I agree with you. Boston is a juggernaut. I'm just thinking maybe we might have an advantage off the bench, but I'm not arguing.
No, listen, on paper, you're not wrong. On paper, we do have an advantage off the bench. Like the bench could come in, tie the game, and then the starting lineup come back, stretch the lead, that sort of jazz. We could do this back and forth. But on paper, listen, they're the best team in the NBA for a reason, because I don't think the bench is a problem. I don't think the bench stops them at all from winning their games. It's not like other teams haven't tried. It's just that it hasn't happened.
But things are a little different in the playoffs. Things do slow down a little bit. They got in this particular game. Appreciate you, Nick Yak. He's saying I didn't check it myself. The other night, Boston starter had 102 points of the 117. It's a great bench. Poured on 15 points. I mean, you could tell the bench is not great. But what happens in the playoffs, though, is you do extend your starters. And teams go 8. Some teams even go 7. I've seen teams go 7 in the playoffs. And Boston would be a team to do that because they just don't have they just can't afford in a tough playoff series to sit Tatum to play them 36 minutes. You're going to have to play them 40. But yeah, it's
did Boston win tonight? I thought Parrish Tuggett said Boston lost, but did they win? I thought
Philly won.
Philly
won, from what I understand. Somebody said in the chat, Philly won.
Parrish Tuggett said that, but okay.
Yeah.
No, Philly didn't even play Boston. What are you talking? Philly played Charlotte tonight, and Boston beat up Dallas.
All right, so we know we can't listen to
Parrish.
Yeah,
Boston blew out Dallas by 28 points, and so who just said that? Somebody said Boston became the first team to win 10 games in a row this season. So they won tonight again.
Yeah. We have 92 in the chat. At one point, we had 104. So if you haven't already, please hit the Yeah. Yep. Hit the like button. I know this ain't right. It says 9. Let me refresh.
Let me see what it says. Right. It says 65. 66.
Yeah. We put it up to 67.
Some people are still holding back, Queen.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can, it definitely helps the show. hit the like button. Let's get it up to 100. And I got my QR code up there. If you want to buy me a cup of coffee, it would be greatly appreciated. Just open your camera app, put your phone there, click the link that pops up, and you can support the channel. Salute, Mega. Appreciate you.
Yes, Mega, definitely, man. Shout out to Mega, always in here rocking with us, always supporting the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah. Well, you could be a championship contender and still need more. Right? You could be a championship contender, I should say, and still improve. You know.
Well, Queen, let me ask you something. Do you think Miami's a championship contender?
I don't.
Can I?
Let me see. They got Butler, Bam, Hero, Rozier,
and I'm about to complicate things for you. Okay, right? So they're not, right?
I don't think so.
So last year, obviously, they contended for the championship, right? Guess what? Right at this point this year, they're better than they were last year. Do you realize that?
Yeah,
they're better right now at this point in the season. They're better than they were last year at the same point in the season.
Right.
So,
go ahead.
So technically, it could mean that they're better than they were last year. I don't know if that necessarily means that, but based on record, they're better right now than they were last year. And last year they made it all the way to the final. So last year they were a championship contender.
I didn't think they were a championship contender last year.
Well, I mean, history tells us. I mean, it's not what we think at this point. It's what happened.
But there's a difference between being a championship contender perennially and getting hot and making a run to the finals. To me, that's two different things. That Atlanta team 3 years ago that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, did you consider that team a contending team before they did that? No, they just got hot and went on a run. Miami went hot and got hot and went on a run. You look at that roster, I don't consider that roster a championship contending roster. Now, can they go on a run and make it to the final? Sure. They did that last year.
Queen, do you know how unlikely that run was last year for them? I mean, that's not, and I'm not saying they were a great team, but, and you of all people know I cannot stand the Miami Heat, right? But that was impressive. They ran through Milwaukee Bucks. They beat us up. They ran through Boston to make it to the final. That was a very tough path to the finals.
Listen, I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm not saying that they're not a gritty team. What helped Miami last year was they started hitting shots in the playoffs. They were not a good shooting team. They started hitting shots in the playoffs. So yeah, for any team, if your weakness turns around, you can't go to the finals. You can't go to the finals. I'm just saying for myself, I don't see them as a top, 3 team in the East that's just falling on hard times.
Oh, us?
And listen, for those who don't think the Knicks are championship contenders, I'm not going to argue with you. I feel they are. They just crossed over. But you're looking at Burks and Bogdanovic. Like when we had that, it was like it was Burks and Bogdanovic in our head with this starting unit that we saw for a month.
Right.
Now we don't see that starting unit. We see Burks and Bogdanovic like, I don't know. Might have to pull that back. I don't know.
Shout out to East Blue Drew. Let me show this. Oh
no, it's this one.
Is
it this one?
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
I don't know if I agree with that. That You know why? Why? Because Quentin Grimes was gonna make us better. What am I missing here? I don't think that trade. I still don't think that trade looked dumb at all. If anything, if it was possible to hold on to Emmanuel quickly or something when we traded for OG Anunoby, I could probably see where you coming from with that. But I don't know what would Quentin Grimes be doing right now? Would we be winning with Quentin Grimes in the lineup? I don't think
he's
so.
saying his defense is needed, but the thing about defense, you can't have one person playing it.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Well, listen. Is defense really our problem right now? Or it is a problem, defense, but we can't score either. Yeah, Grimes.
Oof. Food. Knicks 100 a GM bringing all the smoke. Quickly is not more valuable than Grimes. Yeah, I think Quickly is a better player at this point. Now, whether Grimes pass him in the near future, that's always possible. Always possible. But we would have had Quick on this team. We would have had scoring. We would have had somebody to lead that backup unit that could have kept Burks off the ball if we still would have made the trade. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Well, there's a reason why the Raptors didn't ask for Grimes. They asked for Quickly. Right? Because Quickly, they want. You know that trade was quick, right? RJ came in as as a filler, but RJ obviously is a good player as well. But it made the money work. But they really wanted Emmanuel Quickly in that trade. And there's also a reason why Quentin Grimes went to Detroit Pistons for Alec Burks and Bogdanovic. These basketball minds we have running the front office, like those guys, not stupid. They could see what those guys, what they can get for those guys. So I think Quickly was more valuable than Quentin Grimes. Quickly is a better player than Quentin Grimes at this point. I don't know what's going to happen in 2 years, but right now Quickly is better, hands down.
Yeah, I don't think it's close. Personally, Walter White, Deuce will be better than them both. We shall see. We shall see.
Then who? Grimes and IQ,
right? And Nick Yak. Every time you come up here, you talking about percentages, and if you're a point guard, you got to run the team. You got to run the team. Run the team. We can get a point guard in here that doesn't even score, but they're running the team, right? I think there's a difference. But I appreciate you.
But wait, so go back to Nick Yak. So you I guess you want more playing time for
McBride.
For McBride.
When we have McBride getting better, better and better. I mean,
but the more playing time, listen, I don't disagree with that, but I don't think that has to come. You have to cut Brunson's minutes. So Alec Burks is not producing right now. So I would just, I don't know. The guard minutes, I would distribute them a little different between Brunson and Deuce. Somehow, cut Alec Burks' minute. I don't know how many Burks played yesterday, 20 or something like that. And he didn't do nothing in those 20 minutes. So maybe, cut Burks' minutes but not Brunson minutes. We need Brunson on the floor, man.
Brunson saying 48. I don't think Brunson. Did Brunson play 48?
If he says he wants to play 48, I'm not gonna tell him no.
Wow. Knicks are nice. Y'all lucky Deuce is even play. All right. So some split opinions on Deuce. I think Deuce has gotten better. I like when he's on the floor. You know,
Brunson he played 37 minutes yesterday, Jalen Brunson.
yeah.
Alec Burks. Burks only played 11 minutes. And Deuce played 22 minutes.
There you go.
Queen Burks not getting the minutes, man. I think Tibbs starting to fall out of love with him. Yo, guy Burks not coming through. He been a bum since he been here, man. They go Parrish Duggar again with his name calling fools and brainless, and
that's why I don't give him any airplay. I don't give him any airplay. I'm just bringing this up for the people. I'm the host for the people. Any thoughts on Becky Hammond doubling down on her statements about
oh God.
Brunson?
Queen, why we have to go there? I don't even want to give her. Like,
we don't have to go.
Forget her.
We don't have
to. Forget her. I whatever, Becky.
Becky with the straight hair.
Yeah, whatever. Like, it's what's the other? Oh, by the way, yesterday again, whoever was calling the game, they made that same stupid statement again. Like they keep saying the Knicks passed up on Steph Curry. We didn't. Like where are they getting that garbage from?
Correct.
They keep saying that, and before you know it, it's gonna be everybody gonna think we did not pass up on Steph Curry. People, get it right. He was drafted before we got the pick.
Right.
And from what I understand from D'Antoni, the Knicks wanted Steph Curry. It's just he went to the Warriors. The Warriors picked right before us, so they picked him.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it. Sherwin, Becky is entitled. She is entitled to her feelings. That's not the issue for me. If you don't think Brunson is a 1A, you don't think he's a 1A. I don't have a problem with that at all. We can all agree to disagree, but you can't say he can't be a 1A because he's small. Like, what's the basketball reasons for that? If you want to tell me you don't think he's good enough, period, to be a 1A, to be the best player on the championship team, fine. You're entitled to that opinion. But to say he can't be a 1A because he's small, that's like, somebody help me understand the basketball reasons for that. Are you saying that he won't be able to get his shot off in the playoffs? Are you telling me that they could take the ball out of his hands? Like, what's the basketball reason for saying because of his size, he can't be a 1A? I'm not arguing with anybody who says, I don't think Brunson is good enough to be the best player on a championship contending. I'm not going to argue with that. But to say because guys are small, they can't do it, like, I just don't get it. And somebody explain it. If you guys have a reason for it, let me know why a small guy can't be the best player on a championship contending team.
That's just a dumb take to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. So whatever.
It just doesn't make any sense. So, and then you point to small players who didn't do it. Okay, but did you look at the rosters? Did they not do it because they were small? Or did they not do it because the roster wasn't good enough? Or even if their roster was good enough, they lost to a better team. Like, talk to me basketball wise. Don't just tell me somebody is too small. Like, I just don't get it. So you're entitled to your feelings, but I think if just don't do a lazy take. That's all I'm saying. Just don't do
not
a
take. I beg you, whatever. She's looking for. I don't know. Whatever. It matters. It's a BS take, if it's a take at all.
Sharon, relax. Brunson needs a big play who can create. He's not the same play. He's not the same. He's averaging like 30-something points without Randle. Now, of course, if you have somebody, and this is for anybody, This is for Dame with Giannis. This is for Tatum. If you took away KP and Jaylen Brown, you know, obviously, if you take away the other players around you, teams can key on you more and make it harder for you. That's any player in the league. You take away their number 2 and number 3 scorer, they're not going to be probably as efficient. But Brunson is still that dude, Sherwin. I know you late to the party when it comes to Brunson. He's still that dude. He's still the best player on this team. But yes, will he get more space when Randle is here? Absolutely he will. No doubt about it. Like we said, Sherwin, Randle does make it easier for him and vice versa. But that's for anybody who loses other good players on the team.
A three-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA player on their team. You know?
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
You want to look at the next the schedule, next few games?
Sherwin, you on that pod with just a few other people. Okay. You on that part with just a few other people. Yeah, we can.
Queen, that was a weird statement. So wait, Brunson's the best scorer, Randall's the best player. Yeah, shout out to Sherwin, man. I don't know what Sherwin's talking about tonight, but special shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that meant.
Yeah. He's a better scorer than Randle, but he's not a better player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think that.
Whatever, Sherwin.
That was an argument for last year. I think we could put that to bed. We could put the development of players to bed. But I'm not taking anything away from Randle. Like, to me, it's not a slight. Like, if I said on Phoenix, KD is the best player, is that taking anything away from Booker? If I say Luka is the best player on Dallas, is that taking anything away from Kyrie? Those guys are still good in their own right. They're just not the best player on their team. That's it. But they're still studs.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You want to look at the schedule.
The next few games, Cleveland, not likely to win that. Oh, wait, Queen, before we go into this, man, we appreciate these little statements. Shout out to the panel and the chat. Thank you so much and we thank you, sir, Sharon. We try to entertain and try to talk and try to we passionate about this. So we have these discussions and
okay.
Yeah,
there's an incoming call. Hold on. Okay. After 11, my do not disturb comes on. So let me take that off. All right. Somebody was calling into the show. I think it was Sherwin.
It was Sherwin? Oh, we should have. Was that Sherwin?
You can call back in. I took off the do not disturb. I got to remember that when I'm on the show.
But and guys, there's no show without the panel. There's no show without the chat. Okay, so it all works together to make this happen, and we all have a good time when we hang out here on whether it be on Friday or Monday on NBK or whatever. So, yeah, and not just the panel, but the chat. You guys are just as important as part of the show as we are. So, thank you for that. Oh, here's the call. That's Sherwin?
I don't know.
Call from.
Oh.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Yeah. What's your name, caller?
Sherwin.
Oh, there you go. What's up, Sherwin?
Yeah.
Talk to us, Sherman. Oh, they hung
Did
up.
he hang up?
It wasn't Sherman.
No, it wasn't. It was a fake
Trolling.
Sherwin.
Somebody trolling.
Oh,
Yeah. He
Oh,
is
Sherman
not
says
me.
that
Sherman
he's
said
not
he
me.
is not me. You know what I got to do?
We got a
When
fake
the
Sherman.
is calling and the person is not clear on who they are, don't pick it up.
Don't pick
Because
it up.
those are the times when we get trolling calls when the person doesn't say who they are.
We got an imposter, Sherwin. Sherwin, is it a
Sherman said
fake
he is
Sherwin?
not me. I was ready to hear it, Sherman.
That's funny. So Cleveland we're not likely to win that. I'm not gonna say we're gonna lose, Queen. I expect us to win every game, damn it.
Right. I understand.
So we're not likely to, whatever for that one. The Atlanta game on Tuesday, we're gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
The
Atlanta.
Orlando,
Okay. No, go ahead.
The Orlando on Friday. Shout out to Josh, Uncle Folio. Queen, let's go to the schedule and we go back to Josh, right? Because he's going back to the
I
the
hear what
Brunson
he's
too
saying.
small.
I just disagree. Small players don't get. What does that mean? What is the basketball reason? And by basketball reason, I mean in the game reason why a small player, given that they have a championship roster, can't win. So that they don't get drafted high, that's not a basketball reason. That they're often overlooked, that's not a basketball reason. Traditionally, it's a big man's game. I get it. Traditionally, I still need a basketball reason why, if your small player is can't be a best player on the team. That's all I'm saying. Now, I don't have any pushback if she's saying that Brunson is not a 1A. I mean, I'm not arguing that as well. She did say they can't win. She did say that. If it wasn't in the second statement, it was in her first statement, but she did say that. But no, I'm not arguing with anybody who says that they don't think he's good enough. I mean, that you're entitled to that. All right, go ahead. What you were saying?
Orlando, I don't know what's gonna happen in that game. I'm hoping for a win there. I know you don't think we can win it, but and then we got two Phillies, which we're gonna win at least one of those. And they both at home. We playing both at Madison Square Garden. Queen, how unlucky are we when we have a nice home stretch and then everybody's hurt?
Not just a nice home stretch. We finally cross over and get a team that we want to watch and see what they can do, and at least in the regular season, get our rotations right. And we're falling like a house of cards here.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Then we have Portland, Sacramento, and we get Golden State Warriors again later this month, which I can't wait. I hope we're healthy when we play them.
Josh, historically, she's spot on. It hasn't happened. But that can't be your reason for why it won't happen. That's all I'm saying. The take was a lazy take. So historically, it hasn't happened. But why hasn't it happened historically? Because those guys had championship rosters and they didn't win because the guy was small. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, historically, it hasn't happened other than Isaiah Thomas and what have you. It has happened a few times. I'm not arguing with the history of it. I'm arguing with the lazy take that because you're small, you can't be the best player. That's not a basketball reason. Tell me because you're not going to be able to get your shot off. Tell me because they're going to be able to double team and get the ball out of your hand. Give me a basketball reason. I want to understand it. But don't tell me because it never happened. Because I just can't. I just can't. But anyway, let's move on. Yeah, you was gonna say something.
No, I went over the schedule there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think, yeah, I'm not worried. Unlike JJ, I'm not panicking. I, I'm okay with the 6th seed, like we discussed on Monday. Um, and I think we're gonna be right there at the end of it all. So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I listen. We probably go 1-3. I wouldn't be surprised if we went 0-4. We just don't have it.
we're not gonna go in for Queen. Don't put
I'm
that.
not. I'm not.
Don't put that
Listen,
out there.
the Knicks play really hard. Our defense is not where it needs to be. Hopefully, somebody steps up for us offensively. Maybe DiVincenzo steps up for us.
The next 5 we're going 3-2.
Hart does the best he can. We just don't have it right now.
3-2 the next 5, Queen. 3-2. Write it down.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We might beat Philly twice in a row.
Okay. All right. Listen, I'm here for it.
Might sweep Philly this season.
Yeah. Anyway, 12 o'clock. We said we were going 12 o'clock. I got a training tomorrow. I appreciate everybody watching with us.
Shout out to the chat, man. Always rocking with us, man. And thank you so much. The 80 likes, 20 people still holding back. So hit the like button on the way out.
Hit the like button on the way out for sure.
And definitely
appreciate you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say shout out to Jerrell who was in here with us earlier. JJ who called. Oh, there was a fake show in tonight. In case
Right. What's his name? Who called in for us as well? Other than JJ, I forgot. His name. Starts with an S. Appreciate you. As well. Delusional couldn't be here. Appreciate him. Boogie couldn't be here. Appreciate him. And Geoff, I've been missing my guy Geoff. I think this is the second Friday, and then he missed Monday on the Queen's Court. He got a lot going on. Miss you, Geoff.
Yeah. Should be back next week though.
Yeah. Can't wait for him to get back. And then Stafford Don.
Oh, Silk. Thanks, Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford be shirking his duties, man. He be back home from work. Oh, I gotta work. He be back from work 10 o'clock. Still in the background. We thought he was asleep. He come up with Silk.
He lurking.
Right, he
lurking in the back. It just shout Silk.
He was waiting for us to say something about Mitch. Then he was gonna pop on.
Yeah, we know how to get him on.
Right. That first Philly game, I'll be at Madison Square Garden. Andy, for those who know Andy from MBK, coming in from Poland to spend some time in the States. So for that Philly game, that Sunday game, I believe it's a 6 o'clock game. We're gonna have a pregame at Legends Sport Bar in the city. Then we're gonna walk over to the game. Then we're gonna come back, and we'll have the post game also at Legends. So if you're in the New York area and you can't make the game, come to Legends. Come for the pregame. Have a watch party there. Watch the game. We'll be back for the post game. Meet Andy, myself, Sim. I believe Tony Crow is going to be there. I believe Eru from Die Hard Knicks is going to be here. And come rock with us. It's always a pleasure to meet, to chat. And I don't think I got an opportunity to mention it on this show, but the watch party thrown by the Morning Brew Crew or Brew Crew Sports was off the chain. Was just off the chain. So shout out to Phil, Jigga, Hector, everybody I met. I met Knicks Live, who's in the chat is Knicks Live or Julian Blum. I met him. I met the Nickinator, I believe it was. Monica McNutt was there, rocked with us. She was on the podcast, watched the game with us. It was just a fire evening. So shout out to those guys and everybody that I met there. Ron was there too. Ron was at the watch party. Always a pleasure to see you. Eru was there as well. It was a pleasure to rock with him. BX Chris. I'll be there too, Steph, and maybe John. All right. We rocking with Andy. He don't come to the States that often, so we have to see him.
Nice.
Yeah. Where Legends? Yeah, Legends is in the city right across from the Empire State Building. Yeah, so come hang out. Come hang out with us. And
Yeah,
there might even still be tickets available. I'm not sure.
It's a nice hangout, guys. So let's make it happen.
That's where I met Parrish Duggar, right? So that's the only reason I put his list. He's a nice guy. I know in here he be, screaming and acting up in the chat. But I met him in person at Legends, and we ate, we had a meal together, and he's a great guy, right? So a lot of times what you see in the chat, it's not always who the person is. Appreciate you, Paris. Hopefully you'll drop by Legends and I'll get a chance to see you again. All right. Any last words?
Well, let's go Knicks, man. Shout out, thanks to the chat for hanging out with us on a Friday. And hey man, we look forward to the next game. It's not gonna be pretty, but we're addicted to the Knicks, so we're gonna watch anyway, and we're gonna keep our fingers crossed, hoping things go our way. You never know.
Right. All right. I'm coming up with the shortest intro of all time because I gotta. Oh, let me just get this comment off. All right. Until next time, fam.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Don't so.
Where you at?
Don't so.